All right, guys. This is an important video, and honestly, I think that the time has come. I'm done coaching. Now, if you guys know, we launched Leah less than 2 years ago. We've had hundreds of people go through, and I think without a shadow of a doubt, we've hands down had the best results and the highest satisfaction. The level of service that we provide is unlike anything else there. There's nothing out there like it. There's nothing out there with our 6-figure guarantee, 6 figures in gross pipeline profit in 12 months. We will work with you until you get there. I mean, that's just crazy. But I'm done. Well, kind of. I am done working with folks that don't have the mindset of an entrepreneur. I'm done working with folks that aren't in this to build a business. I'm done working with folks that don't have patience to think in decades and not days. I'm done with folks that are trying to make ends meet tomorrow instead of trying to set themselves up for the future. I'm done. And no longer will we be letting in anyone that has a whiff of that on them. Not a whiff. Now, if you think that somehow you have the chops and that's not you, well, I challenge you. Go to landinvestor.co/apply and find out, do you actually have the chops or not? We'll find out. We'll sit down and talk to you. We'll share our strategy. We'll show you all the bells and whistles. We're also going to interview you and see if you're the right fit. And over time, we've been slowly shrinking our funnel, right? It started with evergreen, then only 15 people a month, and we're getting tighter and tighter and tighter with who we let in. Because ultimately, for me, this is a passion project. This is an area where I find fulfillment. This is an area that I feel like I get to do just a little bit of good in the world. I do not have to be in the business of letting anyone and everyone in. In fact, I get to tell no to people. And one of the things that I've learned with working with so many folks is, unfortunately, no matter what, no matter how well you try to advertise correctly or set expectations correctly, or how much support you provide, or how much content you provide, or any of it, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get folks that come in that have the wrong intentions, ultimately. And I understand it. I don't knock them. Life's fucking hard. Sometimes it's really hard. And when you're down and out and you see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, you run towards it. But that almost never works unless you've got the right expectations coming in. And what do I mean by this? You're probably saying, Sumner, this seems kind of pie in the sky or ambiguous. Well, there's a large subset of people out there that want to change their life. Of course. Who doesn't? But they don't have the mindset of being a builder. They don't have the mindset, this is going to be a forever thing. They have the mindset of, I need to do a 180 in my life immediately. So what happens? They join any program. It doesn't have to be Leah. Fill in the blank on any program. And what they do is they sidestep the activity of learning for the activity of action. So they say, let me skip the learning part. Let me get to the action part. Because the sooner I get there, the better the results are going to be. More action, I'm closer to the end result that I want. So of course, good things will happen. Now, land investing is not like a lot of other opportunities. There's a lot of upside, there's minimal competition, but there's a lot of risk. And if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're going to get slapped across the face by the market. And that's why someone like me builds a program to avoid getting slapped in the face. I would rather me be the teacher and our team of coaches be the teacher than the market be the teacher. And that's why inside of Leah, we have something that we call our Learn, Implement, Coach feedback loop. And this is how we teach people. This is how we get people amazing results and how we de-risk the situation. That model says you go through our Leah program. Inside there, you're learning. It's a DIY program. At the end of all of our section, there's homework assignments. So now you're implementing what you've learned. And then next, the work that you implemented, the work you created, you get coached on it. You get coached on your markets. You get coached on your deals. You get coached on reviewing your calls. Boom. So now we can take you to the next step faster because we're not waiting for the market to be the feedback loop, and we can de-risk the situation. I would rather tell you that your market's crap and you learn that in an hour and you go find a new market than you go and mail to a market that's crap and you wait 4 months to find that out and you lost all your money in the process. And you might be thinking, Sumner, you're joking. This is hyperbole. I'm not joking. Every month we get people that reach out to Leah saying, I've lost 100 grand in this business. I went through some stupid program that taught me stupid things. I didn't learn anything. And now I'm in the whole 40, 50, 60 grand. I kid you not. It's A, because the education in this space effing sucks. And B, is because there's a lot of hubris and there's folks that want to get to the end result as fast as possible. And again, I don't blame them. I'm not trying to knock anyone here. Like, I understand life is hard. I grew up on the other side of the track, so I understand. But it doesn't work like that. Okay. Inside of Leah, there's 4 things that we're trying to accomplish. 1, we're trying to teach you the skill of land investing. 2, we're trying to teach you the skill of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. 3, we're trying to teach you the skill of how to implement what you learned as a land investor. And 4, we're trying to teach you to implement what you learned as a business owner. Then learning the implementation are 2 distinctly different parts. The problem is people want to circumvent and jump the first 2 and go to step 3, but you haven't learned. And inside of a program like Leah, we are hyper prescriptive. There's no wiggle room. It's just one way. And we do that because it's effing effective, but also it de-risks the situation and it makes it a lot easier for you to learn because it's more black and white. And the land business itself is not fully black and white. So of course, context is important. Land is all jumbled up, but in the world of land, it's the most black and white strategy that exists without a shadow of a doubt. No questions asked. When you don't take the time to learn that prescriptive model and implement that prescriptive model, well, That's a situation for a really bad outcome. And unfortunately, as we've worked with more people and we've attracted more people, we've had that happen a few times. And I'm drawing a line here. I am absolutely drawing a line here. If I get a whiff of that from you and my team gets a whiff of that from you, you will no longer be allowed to join Leah. I'm sorry. The reason being is I only want to work with folks that have the mindset of an entrepreneur. Part of what comes with being an entrepreneur is A, you can grit your teeth and you can slay dragons. I don't think any of you understand the dragons I've had to slay to get in the position that I'm in today. And I know many others have had to. And I know people have had harder lives than me, for sure. I understand that. But there are so many points, almost daily, where I could give up, where I think most people would give up. The amount of times I get kicked in the nuts and in the face and in the stomach running 3 businesses is immense. It's immense. And I didn't have any mentors for this. I just learned as I go. But I just have an extreme pain tolerance. Like I was sparring yesterday. My friend and I were boxing. I'm not very good at it. I'm learning. I love it. Super fun, but I'm not very good at it. And a couple of times he clocked me way too hard. We're going like 30, 40%, a couple of times. And I'm like, whoa, right on the chin. And part of me loves it. Part of me loves to see how much I got in me. Part of me loves to feel the pain to understand who I am as a person, who I am as a man. And I understand that might sound masochistic and maybe not everyone has that in them, but you got to have that dog in you. You got to have that dog in you. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad about your circumstances. Okay, I don't. Everyone is dealt a shit hand one time or another in life. Some people, it happens way longer. But we're all dealt problems. We are all dealt situations where things don't work in our favor. I'm sorry, if you give up during that, who are you? You don't deserve the outcome at all. I don't know if you believe in God or the universe or whatever, but I firmly believe that the world tests you before you get what you want. There's this old little meme that I love with a guy with a pickaxe. He's like kind of pickaxing in this tunnel. And then like the next photo is like him turning away. Like he's walking the opposite way. He's all defeated. And little does he know, he's inches away from the gold. That's life. My biggest breakthroughs, my biggest successes have always been on the backs of my biggest failures. And during those failures, I would be lying if I said there weren't times where I say, what am I doing? But in the same vein, I know where I came from. I know where I want to go. And I'm willing to do anything to get there. And it's not even about getting the superficial outcomes. See, that's where you've got it twisted. My why is deeper than that. My why is to find out how capable I am as a person. My why is to tap into my soul and reach that a level of unlimited power. Because as a kid, I was told I was nothing. And so you better believe I've got that dog in me because I'm trying to learn who I am as a person. Am I nothing or do I have something in me? And so I take these moments as challenges. And I'm not going to pretend that my mindset doesn't get down sometimes. But I love that game. I love that game. So A, you've got to have that dog in you. Part of having that dog in you is knowing what's your why. If it's going to go make $100,000 and that's your only why, I'm sorry, you need to get deeper. I want you to ask why to that, and then why to that, and then why to that, until you get to the core essence. What's the root of it, right? What's the root of it? That's number one. Number two, thinking like an entrepreneur. Okay, thinking like an entrepreneur is almost like thinking like a stoic. So a stoic would say, I know every day I go into the world, there's going to be problems. There's going to be rude people, mean people, people are going to try to steal from me. There's going to be problems. I just accept that. That's part of the beauty of stoicism. We're not trying to hide from the shadow. We know the shadow exists. Well, it's partially true as an entrepreneur. You know you get paid in proportion to the problems you solve. So why are you crying and running when problems come your way? That's your opportunity to level up and create an opportunity. It's ironic. Being an entrepreneur is nothing but being a glorified problem solver. So I just accept that that's the role that I'm in. So of course, when problems come my way, I'm like, let's go. This is what I signed up for. Some of you guys cower and run the other way when problems come your way. And I'm like, what do you think this is? What do you think this is? You think that somehow you're just going to make money through some easy system? No, this is simple, but this ain't easy. And nothing in life that's worth having is easy. Ask anyone that's achieved something great. Easy is not in their vernacular. It might have been simple, but easy ain't in their vernacular. It's not. And so if you somehow think you're going to go from zero to hero without hard work and without having to continuously solve problems, I'm not talking about one problem. I'm talking about constant problems. What it's like is it's like being in the boxing ring, right? And if you're not expecting to get hit, you're going to get hit once, twice, 3, 4, and you're just going to get combos laid on you over and over and over and over again, but you got to learn how to duck. Then you got to learn how to fight back. There's an analogy in there. So the ducking is the awareness that punches are going to come. So you're not taking so much damage. Okay, I knew this shit was going to happen. I knew I was going to have problems. So I'm moving. And then you start to gain confidence. You say, you know what? I see an opening. I'm going to fight back. That's what it's like. So you need that. And two, your timelines have to be rooted in reality. If you think you're going to build something great in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, even 24 months, you're out of your goddamn mind. And if I have ever told or promised or anything along those lines to say that somehow your life is going to magically change in 3 months or 6 months, I am sorry. That is not my intention. And that is my bad if I've ever said that. I really, from my bottom of my heart, I do not mean that. I don't think I've ever said that. But if I have, I apologize. What we typically talk about inside of Leah is getting your first contract in about 90 days, assuming you follow everything we laid out. There's no room for deviation, zero. And room from deviation, it means from actually emulating the strategy that we teach, but of course, before that, actually engaging with the content. Anyone that's ever hit a roadblock are the folks that don't show up to coaching calls, don't engage with content. And so they're in this place of throwing action when they have no plan. It's madness. It's madness. And same thing when we talk about making 6 figures in gross pipeline profit as part of our Leah guarantee. Let's zoom out. Gross pipeline profit is both deals sold and unsold. So that's something that's cash collected sitting in your bank account. You can have 3 of the deals that you've sold, and maybe another 3 that you haven't sold, which puts you at 120 grand, but maybe you only collected 60 grand. That's what pipeline profit means, sold and unsold. And that's gross. That doesn't exclude operational costs, right? Gross is just the cost of acquisition, closing costs, disposition price, and closing costs. That's gross profit. You might operate at like a 70 to 80% margin. But the problem is, even if you go net 100 grand your first year, I'm sorry, you're not living fat. You want to get to the next level next year, you take that money and you reinvest into your business. So if you have some silly notion that somehow your life is going to change in a flash and you're going to be living fat in the next 12 months, and even then 24 months, you're crazy. You're crazy. I will not work with people like that. And I'm not pointing anyone out here in general. I'm making a public service announcement. And whether you work with me or someone else, I want you to be grounded in reality. This is going to be hard. This is going to take longer than you think. But fast forward 3 to 4 to 5 years from now, I guarantee you'll be farther along than you could have ever guessed. That's one thing I've seen in my journey and hundreds of other people's journey inside of Leah. And even with friends that are entrepreneurs, it's like year 1, you're always way behind where you thought you're going to be. People come in with these grandiose visions and they're always way behind them, typically. There's some outliers, but typically. But year 3, you're always way further than you thought. It's like, again, the world rewards those that can stick around. The world rewards those that can slay the demon. And the world rewards those that takes the small problems and treats them with the same level of intensity as the big problems. So if you're focused on going and getting your first deal, but you haven't actually done the foundational work of learning or getting coached or understanding the principles or the frameworks or the model, you've missed the small stuff to sweat the big stuff, but you've got to sweat the small stuff to ever have access to the big stuff. I tell this to my team all the time. You want to go do deals that make you 100 grand in a deal? Cool. Show me that you can put the CRM notes in time. Show me that you can fill out your daily report card. Show me that you can show up and clock in and clock out in time. Can't sweat the small stuff. You don't deserve the big stuff. That's the truth. And so you can't circumvent the work. You can't circumvent what's required. Look at someone great. Anyone. Look at Tiger Woods. Look at Kobe. Look at Curry. I mean, those guys, yeah, they have raw talent, but those guys have work. I mean, they've worked their heel off. Business is no different. The game is the game. When the game requires work and the game requires working hard for a long time. That's it. So whatever you need to do to get your mindset in the right place, that's on you. I can make a whole separate video on that. But I want to let you know, if you are ever thinking about getting involved in this or any other opportunity or joining Leah or whatever, you need to ask yourself, is your own house in order? Are your expectations in order? This isn't just a land thing. This is an entrepreneur thing. People think they're joining a land program and somehow this is not building a business. No, this is still building a business. Building a business on easy mode, I guarantee you this is easier than going and creating a product or creating a service. I guarantee you, because I've done it. That's much harder. So this is the lowest level of entrepreneurship. You are literally copying a proven business model, but it's still entrepreneurship. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's not. And so you need to think like an entrepreneur. Hope this helps, guys. This is from the bottom of my heart. I love what I do. I love being able to help people. I love making these videos. I really try to be a beacon in the world. I really try to be helpful. But I've also learned my responsibility to set proper expectations and set boundaries. And today, I'm doing that.